Wilkinson, Hector the rat. Hector the rat was a disgrace to his family. He was clean, he worked hard, he was kind. Hector's mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, aunts, uncles, and grandparents were all ashamed of Hector. They said rats would be dirty, low down and mean. They gave him a final warning. Unless Hector began to behave badly once, he would be thrown out the family sewer, never to return. Hector tried to be dirty, low down and mean, but was hopeless. When his brothers and sisters went scavenging in the dustbins for food, Hector tidied up after them. Sorry, I forgot. When his father met the strangers in the street, Hector apologized to them and bandaged their wounds. Sorry, I forgot. When his mother ordered him to his dirtiest room, Hector cleaned it from the top of the bottom. Sorry, I forgot. To make matters worse, Hector began to read books. He found them on a rubbish dump. He read books about spaceships. He read books about pirates, monkeys, and maps. He read encyclopedias from cover to cover. One book taught him how to juggle. The next day he performed for the dogs and cats in the alley at the back of a hamburger bar. They were based to Richard Dogs threw money into his rat. Hector's family was not impressed. A meeting was called to discuss his behavior. If he wants money, he should steal it, snarled his brother Fang. How are you supposed to terrorize the neighborhood when he goes around smiling and being nice? He'd rather read a book than pick a fight, sneered his sister Slim Miller. And he's disgustingly clean, said his grandmother, licking her feet. Last week, I caught him eating off a plate instead of a floor. From today, said his father, Hector is no longer a member of a family. Out! So Hector was expelled from a family sewer. He had never been above the ground by himself. It was a scary place. Huge machines with wheels rolled past. Fierce windows allowed him path. Hector was only blown over. Giants snapped past in heavy shoes. The pavement shook. Hector asked several of them if they could help him find a new home, but they did not reply. Maybe they can't speak, thought Hector, or perhaps they are too high up to hear me. He wandered the streets for hours. Lost and lonely by nightfall, he has arrived at City Park. He felt tired. He lay down on a bush and covered himself with a blanket of old newspapers. It was difficult to sleep. There were frightening noises, rustling and hooting and scufflings. It was a long time before morning came. He was woken by the sound of a bicycle bell. Go away, said Hector. I'm trying to sleep. Amazing, said the boy, peering under a bush. A talking rat. Astonishing, said Hector. A talking giant. I'm not a giant, I'm Charlie, said the boy. I live round the corner. You mean, said Hector. You mean you got a home? Hasn't anyone? Said Charlie. I haven't, said Hector. Well, you have now, said Charlie. Always wanted a pet rat. A pet, said Hector. He had never heard the word before. It's what my mum won't let me have, said Charlie, but she's bound to like you. So Charlie took Hector home to number 9 Clover Gardens. That's where I live, said Charlie. Above the ground, said Hector. Whoopee! Charlie's smile faded when he saw Van parked in the road. Quick, hurry, he said. It's a rat catcher. But it was too late. Running towards them was a huge, evil-looking man with a big cage. Hector jumped a luggage box on the back of Charlie's bike. But the rat catchers had spotted him and began to shout. Hold tight, said Charlie, turning his bike around. We'll have to make a dash for it. Charlie pedaled as fast as he could, but the rat catcher was gaining ground. Charlie swerved round parked cars, hoping to shake him off. But the rat catcher followed close behind. Without warning, Charlie's bicycle squealed to a stop. They was blocked. Workmen inspecting the seal had put up a safety barrier across the road. Quick! Shouted Hector. Charlie scrambled after Hector down a hill in the road. Inside was a ladder with ledge led to the seal far below. Within seconds, the rat catcher followed, but he did not get far. He was too big, try as he might. He could not squeeze himself down the hole. Soon he was stuck. The more he wiggled, the more worse it became. He used words which could only be found in a rat catcher's dictionary. Rat noise, storm, drang. We're safe now, said Hector. Charlie was not so sure. It's very dark, he said. How we will get out? Rattle thinking, said Hector. We rats are famous for it. Watch. Hector put his hand deep into his pocket. He pulled out some string, a tiny rat-sized torch, a magnetic compass, 2 boiled sweets, a toothbrush, and a piece of paper, which he unfolded carefully. It's a secret map of a sewer, he said. I made it myself. What's a sewer? Said Charlie. This is, said Hector. It's a big tunnel under the street. There are hundreds of them with water from all the houses come down pipes and up in the sewer. You mean there's a sewer under every street? Said Charlie. Yes, said Hector. Look the map. This one go down underneath Cassidy Street, along Plumpton Crescent, and into a Clover Gardens. But that's where I live, said Charlie excitedly. Could we talk underground to number 9? As easy as winking, said Hector. Look, there it is. First you on the left, 9 pipe along will be able to climb out of manhole at the end. Tie this thing around your waist, said Hector. Steady yourself with your hands against the walls. I lead you. Charlie tied the smooth bricks of a tunnel. They were cold and wet and slippery. He felt the string pull tight around his waist, and he heard Hector's footstep ahead. How can you see where you're going? He whispered. My eyes are used to the dark, said Hector. Come on, this way. After a while, Hector stopped to check his compass bearing. North-northwest 50 paces, southwest 20 paces. Will soon be there. Suddenly, they've heard footsteps. Quick, said Hector. I'm here. 4 mean-looking seals rat scuffled passed. Snarl! Goose! My cousins, hissed Hector. If they find me, we're done for you mean they heard us, said Charlie. What's that, Hector? They steal my map. Then we'd never find our way out. When the coast was clear, they set off again. Hector kept looking behind to make sure no one was following. 5 minutes later, he stopped and smiled. We're alive! They entered the sewer, which ran underneath. Clover Gardens on the right-hand side was a row of numbered holes. What was the number of your house? asked Hector. 9. They walked another 5 paces. Hector put his wheel to the hole. Marked number 9. Does your mum ever sing a song called Yellow Submarine? He said. She never stops, said Charlie. How did you know? She's singing it now. You can hear it down the pipe. Charlie leaned closer. You're right, she's cleaning a bathroom. A look of panic came across his face. Oh no, that's my job. I'd better get home quick. They listened hard for the sound of a cars before lifting the manhole. Cover at the end of Charlie Street. I'll go home and ask my mum if he can stay, said Charlie. You go back down the ladder and wait. Are you sure she'll say yes? Of course, said Charlie. But Charlie's mother did not say yes. A pet rat, she cried. Never. How many times do I have to tell you? Charlie was upset. He locked his arm in the bathroom, sat on the edge of the bath, and wept tears. Tears splashed down. He sobbed and sobbed. Then a small voice was heard from somewhere far below. Hector to Charlie. Can you hear me? Over. It seemed to be coming from a plug hole of a wash basin. Charlie leaned over to hear more. Hector to Charlie. Cheer up, Over. I can hear you perfectly. Where are you, Over? In the sewer under your house. Did your mum say yes, Over? She said no. Hector, what are we going to do, Over? You have to smuggle me in, of course, Over. I know when I go shopping for my mum. I could met you outside the shops and you could hide in my bag, over and out. And that's exactly what they did. Fourth, Hector didn't like being in Charlie's bag. It muddled him up. Where am I? You're in a room cupboard, said Charlie. Where? In my house, of course. Hector poked out his head. There were piles of junk all around. What a mess, said Hector. I could tidy up if you like. Shh, no noise, said Charlie. My mum's in the kitchen. She'll hear. But no sooner had Charlie closed the cupboard door than a terrible banging and clattering began. Charlie! Charlie's mother bustled down the hallway, flung open the cupboard door, and found the tidiest cupboard she had ever seen. She looked amazed. Did you tidy the cupboard, Charlie? She said. Charlie was too busy trying to see where Hector was hidden. Well, Mom, well done, Charlie, good boy. Charlie and she went back to the kitchen, humming Yellow Submarine. In the next few days, Charlie got used to being praised by his mother. Whenever his back was turned, Hector would sneak out for his cupboard and tidy something first. He tidied Charlie's messy bedroom after they had won the pillow fight. Miss me, watch out! Then he tidied Charlie's toy drawer, and they played with every one of the toys. He tidied the living room, the clothes cupboard, the kitchen, the bathroom, everywhere from the front hallway to the back bedroom. Twice he was nearly caught. The first time he had to disguise himself as a milk jug. He curled up his tail so that it looked like a jug handle and pointed his nose to look like a spout. The second time he pretended to be a telephone. He coiled up his tail to look like a curly cable. Luckily, no one telephoned. Charlie's mother was so pleased. She bought Charlie ice cream and videos. She told all the neighbors how good he had been. It was embarrassing. Charlie was getting praise for everything Hector had done. By the end of the week, Charlie could stand it no longer. He sat down and wrote his mother a note. Dear Mom, it wasn't me. What, tidy up? I was my friend Hector the rat. Can I keep him as a pet? Please, 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 Charlie. Charlie's mother didn't believe him. Of course, she brought the idea of a rat who tidied cupboards and toy drawers and kitchens was one of Charlie's best jokes ever. She passed a note under Charlie's bedroom door saying that, of course, he could keep his invisible friend. Only he should make sure that never saw Hector or she would be very frightened. She thinks you're imaginary, said Charlie. She believes I'm making you up. But this is wonderful news, said Hector. Why, said Charlie. Well, if I don't insist, you don't ever have to ask. If you can keep me, I can stay here with you forever and be my secret pet. Yes. And that's just what Hector did. Author's note. You may have noticed that Charlie is very good at spelling. Can you help him? On page 57. Meet Hector. He's so tidy he gives Rat a good name. He should be dirty, low down and mean instead. He is clean, kind and hard-working, thrown out of family sewer. He liked to move in a Charlie. The only problem is how to win over Charlie's mum. The end.